So this old girl behind me right here, 1991 Chevy G20. I originally bought this van in lockdown specifically to work on, just specifically turn into a mobile workshop, the Workshop Mobile. For about 2 years it lived outside, and then I transferred it to my workshop at school where I completely redid the electrical. I completely rewired the car from scratch. And then I started working on the exterior. I started working on the paint, so I started removing the old paint. Well, a lot of things happened really fast all at once, and now the van had to be moved outside while it was still bare metal, so it started to rust. And as if it sits here long enough, it will just eventually disintegrate. So we'd like to stop that from happening, so that's what we're going to do. As you can see, pretty rough. The interior was pretty rough when I bought it, so I stripped everything out except for the ceiling. The ceiling is in pretty immaculate shape, all things considered. So hopefully we'll keep that. All of this is from the past 3 months being outside with bare metal. So we got to scrub all that off, scrape all that off, get rid of all that rust so we can then paint it. I've got a painting system all set up. I've got to think I know how we're going to go ahead and do that. And we're just going to hit the main trouble spots. I only have 1 can of paint, so we're going to see how far that gets us. Hopefully we'll be able to cover up most of the trouble. Main thing I want to focus on is this side panel, this body panel, the whole driver's side. That needs work. That's what we really want to focus on. So let's do that. This is the hood. Now, vans like this are so stubby they don't have much of a hood to speak of, but that's what we got. Yeah, that'll work. First things first, we got to get rid of the rust on this guy. Let me get some tools. It's just surface rust. Meaning it's not so bad. But I suppose it would be beneficial to talk about what rust is. Rust is a chemical compound of iron and oxygen. If you have something that's composed of iron, like steel, as in the steel that this is made of, when it's exposed to oxygen, usually in the form of moisture, but usually in the form of moisture, the iron atoms that are inside the material kind of start to freak out, and it forms sort of like a very small electrochemical battery. And that reaction basically continues forever until the iron or steel is completely dissolved, until there is no iron left. it basically gobbles up all the nice clean iron atoms. Everything off. Okay. Okay, as you can see, I've taped off a nice little area for painting, and I've got my hood down here on the tarp. And now let's go get our painting supplies. Okay, this is an electric paint sprayer gun. And when I pull the trigger, get some air. That airflow pulls paint from the reservoir up in through this tube to shoot out with the air. So we then have a paint-air mixture, which allows us to paint things that are further away than with a brush. All right. So I'm not going to fill this all the way because we don't know how this is going to go. So as usual, just, see what happens over the best. Acrylic primer formulation. This is primer, rust inhibitor. That's what we want. We want to be inhibiting this rust to the best of our ability. Yeah, that's better. Then put it in the gun. Make sure you pour most of it on you. Yep, pour, get most of it on you. That's good, that's great. Now we're talking. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Check that out. Ain't that something? A little bit of drips, that's me. A little spotty, but it's okay. I'm quite happy with that. Let's take it to the van for real. I think, because I'm not bending over, I think it will be better, but let's see what's going on. It's not awesome. It's not awesome. It's not awesome. It's okay. We're going to even it out. Do a second coat. That's fine. That's fine. We're going to... I don't even know if you can see that. These drips and drops. We'll get that. Don't even worry about it. Been about 2 minutes, dry to the touch. Let's come in with our sanding sponge. All right. Just got to do that about another, I don't know, 40 times. How much paint is left? We interrupt your regularly scheduled video for a different we interrupt your regularly scheduled video for a special mid-roll video that will support the main video. Let me tell you what I mean. Hey, go lay down, cool it. I'm tired of you guys. Quit barking, quit it. That's not doing anything for anybody. This is called a motorized hot dog. And I don't know why it's called that, but I'm sure somebody can tell me in the comments. That's what they're very much smarter than I. But regardless, what it is a motorized track that you put the camera on, and then while you're recording a time lapse, it will move very, very slowly across the line, so you get this cool sort of sweeping time lapse effect. And I bought this a long time ago, specifically to do this. And I want to do it so I got more paint for the van, and while I'm doing that on the van, I want to do a sort of a time lapse. I want to try this, see if we can get this to work. So figured I'd take you along for the ride in the middle of this other video. It's July 4th actually. Go team. We got them. It's July 4th, and it's hot because it's July. As is tradition in the Northern Hemisphere. It's a very straightforward rig. It's basically a frame and a motor and a little track. It comes with a battery. That's good. Support legs. Okay. This is our motor. So turning it on turns this shaft, and this shaft turns this wheel, which presumably moves the rig down the track. Oh, around this belt that's not attached? That's good, okay. That goes to this, so we got to do that anyway. Okay. No instructions, just the way I like it. Okay, so these feet go down here. That's good, we can do that. There's all sorts of screw holes down here for you to attach this to other devices, and there's a ton of stuff we can build with this. We can build a vertical rig and have it go up and down. Tons of different kinds of projects we can build. It's a very versatile piece of equipment. So that's one of the reasons I wanted it, because I like versatile pieces of equipment that we can do lots of things with. Because we can do lots of things with them. And that makes for interesting living. It's gonna go here somehow. This goes somewhere. Oh, this battery goes here. Okay, this is the battery, got it. So this clearly sits. Let me bring you down here. Okay, so we have a toothed belt, and our motor has a toothed wheel. And I imagine that these two idle wheels that don't have teeth are used to kind of set the tension or relieve the tension on the whole thing somehow. So I'm going to try to find some instructions while we're sitting here. So hold on one second. Okay, so this is pretty interesting. You can actually move these two sliders this way to get a slanted effect if you wanted to go that route. That's pretty cool. Still can't figure out where this goes, but that's okay. Hold on. You know, I'm sitting here thinking, oh man, it's broken. Oh, I got the wrong piece. No, just not thinking about all the choices. It goes underneath. It goes underneath just like that. And the screws come in, and everything's great. I don't know if you guys can hear my music from where you are, but I'm wearing headphones with pass-through because I just don't like loud noises. Andre 3000 just asked me what's cooler than being cool, to which the fellas replied, ice cold. Which is pretty cool. It's cool then, it's cool now. Okay, now the belt. The toothed belt needs to go around this toothed wheel because otherwise, well, just because of the way that it is. As the motor turns, it's going to ride along the toothed belt back and forth, which is the action that we're hoping to get out of it. That's what we want. But this is going to be tight. Does this come out? Surely not. Oh, I see. We can loosen it up, maybe? Yeah, we can give ourselves a little bit more room. Because we want this to be tight, because we don't want to lose any energy. The sloppier the belt is, the less energy we're going to be able to transfer. Well, the less efficient the energy transfer is going to be between the motor and the movement of the camera in question. Okay, very good. Installed. I don't know what this is for still. We'll find out if we need that. Okay. Now, this has no batteries though. I received this a long time ago, so I presume this battery's dead. Now, I remember seeing a charger, and I may have even shown it in a video, that I didn't know what it went to, and it must go to this. Because it looks like this. I thought it was a camera battery, and this looks like a camera battery. I mean, it says Canon on it. Clearly designed after that. So let's get some... I bet we can just charge it into Caddy, but I also bet we can charge if we find that. So two options. We can find the Caddy for this and charge it that way, or we can charge it up through this barrel jack. Okay, as suspected, I found it in my... So I've got many sections of miscellaneous electronics. And this was over by where the drone and some power supplies and some computer parts were. And as you can see, I've never opened it before because I didn't need it, because I didn't know what battery it went to. But I believe it goes with this battery. Unfortunately, being able to find things that you meant to find, and which you saved because you meant to find them later, and then being able to find them, it just sort of reinforces, you know, the hoarding tendencies that I already have, but oh well. Oh no, this doesn't go to this. .4 volts. Canon. Does this not go to this? Well, that's embarrassing. Fits Canon LPE6. Fits Canon 8 on as a different charger for a different battery. Well, that's embarrassing. Okay, fast forward a little bit. We're charged up. We're actually just plugged into power, but that's fine. It doesn't bother. Whatever, it's all the same. We can't really go outside. We can't put the camera outside anyway. It's too hot, so we're kind of getting things set up anyway. Okay. Question is, how does this work? That's kind of the main question right now, is how do we then get this to go on its own a little ways? I can move it manually with the button. Be amazed at the power of the electric motor. As the motor spins, it turns that toothed gear, and that toothed gear rides along the toothed belt. And the tension between the toothed belt and the toothed gear allows it to kind of crawl its way along the toothed belt. It's pretty cool. The question is, how do we program it? There's 3 buttons on here. One is left, one is right, and then one is I don't know. I thought it was spin because the platen here. Okay, we've got 3 buttons here. We've got left, right, and then we got a 3rd button. I thought this was spin, but it's not. I don't know what it does, because when I hold it down, it doesn't really do anything. I think I'm recording movements, maybe? So maybe, I don't know. We're currently in the process of using the integrated app called Chocolate Slider. We're trying to connect, I guess. This all seems very strange. Howdy, welcome back. For reasons that I cannot explain, I was just sitting here turning it on, turning it off again. It connected again. I don't know if you can see this, but the blue light's on because the Bluetooth connected, which is good. I think it just wasn't charged enough, so I sat here and put it on the charger. So I couldn't find the actual charger, but one of the tools that we have in our shop, of course, is the variable power supply, which is a transformer with a little knob, a little kind of variac sort of thing, where you turn the knob and it changes the amount of voltage that you can get, and then it's got interchangeable tips for the barrel jacks. Oops. It's got a bunch of interchangeable tips for different kinds of devices, which is a great tool, obviously very versatile and a great thing to have in the workshop. So I set that, so the battery can take 7.5 volts, so I set it to 7.12 volts. The knob's very sensitive, so I didn't want to overdo it. Just be very careful if you're using a device like this, because you can accidentally drop it and turn the voltage way up and blow up whatever you're trying to actually power. So be very careful that everything's cool before you walk away or anything. Anyway, that being said, I can now control the device from my phone using the app. See it moving? Very, very nice. Cool. Let's set up a time lapse while we're here. Alright. So, I'm going to need to make an adapter plate that allows for this to sit on here for our phone, like that. So I need to build this needs to be like a block with some, something like that. Which I think is probably going to be its own video. I feel like we're at the point where we're kind of getting into too far in the weeds and we need to get back to the point of the video. So stay tuned for that. Okay, back on trying to fix or get this set up. I've got this piece of angle bracket that and I found a nut that threads onto this stud. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill a hole through this angle. Well, I'm going to cut a chunk out of it first. Put this here, or maybe put it there. How about put it that way? And then we're going to be able to attach that to this, maybe? Well, not that. Something like that? Something like that? Okay. Now this. How are we going to do this? How much do we need this is the question, because if we could just try to super glue it down with two sides, just call it a day, just like that, except we want to be able to turn it around, I guess. Do we want to be able to turn it around? Yeah, probably. This is a piece of that aluminum stock sheet, and I think I'm going to make a little adapter thing that screws to this, and then we're going to put this on that, because that'll give us some more room to work with. So I've got some zip ties and I got some Velcro straps. So let's see what kind of trouble we can get into with this. Okay, not long enough. Yeah, that's not bad. Okay, so here's my phone. Let's set up for a time lapse, and we'll just do a time lapse of the room right here. Nothing too crazy. Yeah, because that doesn't look terrible. Oh, except we're recording. That's not what we wanted. Alright, I'm now setting up the time lapse. Setting up point A, which is going to be the beginning on this side. Point A confirmed, very good. Now let's set up point B. So on the app here, I can go through and set some different parameters. Frame rate, clip length. So I can go through and it sets, I guess it builds a time lapse from there. I just wanted it to move. So I suppose somebody who knows more about cameras will be able to make use of that information, but I'm just going to try to have it move, and that's all I really want it to do right now. But we also don't need to do that right now. It's massively hot. It's over 100 degrees. And so, okay, 98. Come on. It's going to be 100 degrees here in about 30 minutes. I'm going to take a break, and maybe when it's cooler, or I think it might be a little cloudy tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow afternoon. We'll see what's going on. Yeah, tomorrow afternoon, that might be cooler. We'll see what's going on, and then we might get after it and set up the time lapse and everything. So hopefully the next thing you see is time lapse, or I may have done something very clever and put the time lapse next to all the rest of this nonsense. And so we'll see what you see. So okay, so got that figured out. Okay, I'm supremely happy that I managed to figure this out and set this up all in it's been what, 30 minutes? Good job everybody. Hicimos, we did it. Okay, very good. Go me. Okay, so as you can see, I've sanded off another chunk of driver's side panel. We're not going to get down there because I got to take this step off. And then up there it's a little rough, but I think it'll be okay. So let's figure out the next step in our painting regimen, considering I ran out of paint last time. So what are we going to do? It's okay, I'll have a solution. Okay, this is the same paint that we used before. It's just a gallon size, and it needs to be reduced. So I've got the same brand specialty reducer, which makes this paint more sprayable. because otherwise it'd just be too thick and it wouldn't come through, and then we wouldn't be able to use it, and it'd be a bad time for everybody, and that would be bad. So I got to figure out how to get some of this paint in here with an equal amount of reducer. So how much? What is this? 20 fluid ounces. So we'll just cut that in half. Okay, so let's start with this half reducer. Okay, here we go. Nobody panic. Whoops. Making a mess. Let's go out here. Okay, yeah. That's all we're trying to do, is get some coverage so it doesn't keep rusting. Yeah, let's leave that. Let's not overdo it. Because one, I forgot to cover the light over there, and two, my phone's down there. All right, let's take a look-see here. As you can see, the sun's going down. I managed to get the whole side panel done. I took a break in the middle and ate dinner, and you know, I took a break. I took a break in the middle to eat dinner, but that's the whole side panel except for that bottom chunk down there. Now, the reason I didn't do the bottom chunk is because I can't get the sander down in there all the way because the step is in the way, and so I need to remove the step, and so let's remove the step. Tool of choice, 10mm socket. All of the weight of this thing is being supported by these screws, and so they are tough to get it, or tough to turn. I lied, there was one more. Here we are underneath the van. I'm gonna go out on a limb here. And say that this bracket here is not factory, because it looks like some brackets that you'd use for hanging stuff, sort of recklessly bolted together, which, you know, that's good. The other side kind of looks like that too, but this whole thing is stuck in here now because there's a stud right here that you have to lift up out of this hole to get this thing out. So I'm gonna push on this a little bit, and we'll see if I can make something happen. Okay, got it off. I did not have to undo the bracket, it just sort of came off eventually. I was able to push it, and it came off. So it's on the ground, and we will paint accordingly this last little panel right here. Okay, as you can see, I've done some, and we've got the bottom rail, the step, off the passenger side, and I need to continue taking the paint off, but there's a lot of paint here, so I'm going to use a chemical solution. That chemical solution, Citrus Strip paint stripping gel. This is how I remove the paint from the majority of the car in the first place, and I'm going to use this again. Basically what you do is you just sort of slather it on and let it go to town, and then take it the rest of the way off with a sander, just like we've been doing. Okay, so the last clip you saw was me with the chemical paint stripper. As you can see, the van's now covered. I finished painting the whole thing. The whole kit and caboodle is totally painted, and I had to cover it up because I want to now go into more detail, panel by panel, taking the chrome off, taking the wheels off, taking the mirrors off, things like that. And I can't fit it all into this video, and so we'll definitely be back on this in the next video. The citrus strip, if you're wondering, the citrus strip worked okay. I still had to go and mechanically sand off the vast majority of it, but things went well. The entire thing is primed, and it's protected from the rain because we got some rain in the forecast, and so I wanted to get this done and get this covered before anything else happens. So that's all for this video. See what happens next.